race win of the day after running off in that first race. He looked a little bit loose, didn't he, out on circuit, but he's looking for that. Ben Field here, fantastic ride from the newcomer. Keep an eye on him. He'll be looking to keep a toe on Mark Hughes in this race. Seb Bulpin here, number 143, has already said to me that if he can keep up with the front, he will do. No sign of Rick Ballerini. Of course, he had that crash earlier. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back out, but also keep an eye on number 23, Errol Armit, who came through from 9th or 10th to finish 3rd overall.
Thanks very much, Steve. Yes, well, you may see Rick Ballerini on the grid, but you won't see him on a bike, because I'm afraid that's in about 8 million pieces on eBay by now. But the Terminoni Superstock 600s once more back to the fray, and, well, as you mentioned already, Ben Field certainly one to watch. The youngster, a huge prospect for the future. Sid just skips out of the way at the front. It's watch the lights time and heads down, and away they go. And it's wheels pouring the air as they come down this long straight here. Seth Bulpin getting a good start from the outside of that front row, mix into second as they come round the hairpin there. Looks like another good start from further back on the grid by Errol Armit.
Yeah, he's managed to come through the grids, and one of the big problems he did have at the start of the weekend, you said earlier that he had a problem with qualifying, was tyres. He was really struggling with some tyre setup. He's now reverted back to his trusty old Dunlops, and they seem to have done the trick for him.
Yes, indeed. Well, the 600s loving the sunshine here at Pembrey, and Mark Hughes at the moment is trying to make a breakaway at the front, but well, he's got rid of most of the field, but not all of them, because Seb Bulpin is sticking to him like the proverbial. And there, the rest of the pack at the moment, well, in these early stages, fighting it out for a 3rd podium place. But look at this, Seb Bulpin, wonderful piece of outbreaking. The hatchets can't quite get it sat up though, but he's alongside Mark Hughes. Hughes has the line out through Spitfire and Devaney. And, well, we know that Seb Bulpin's really on it this weekend, Steve, but Mark Hughes has proved an absolutely fascinating newcomer to the series this weekend.
He has, he's really proved himself, hasn't he? And you can see from his bike, it's sort of plain, well, I don't know if that's a dark blue sort of colour, no sponsors on there at all. He hasn't been able to attain any sponsorship yet, but he's really painting a good picture for himself there. Look at this pack here, Battle for Four, all sorts of riders in that pack there. We saw Dean Pearce, obviously Errol Armit leads it. Also Ryan Cox, brother of Darryl Cox, number 168. Expected to see him a little bit further up. I think we'll see him on the podium at some point soon.
And Errol Armit turning in some fantastic times there. He's in 3rd place at the moment, number 23, trying desperately. He's broken clear, there he is, of his pursuers, and he's trying desperately to get in touch with the 2 leaders. And once again, Seb Bulpin wondering about doing the outbreak in the hatches, and this is a fabulous place to watch racing, particularly if you've got a TV camera handy, isn't it, Steve? Watching them back it into the hairpin.
Yeah, particularly if they've got a bit of supermoto experience as well. They do love that rear end moving around. But oh, and there's a rider gone down. Who's that, Robert?
Yeah, Dave Barfoot's his race ends there on that safety run-off at Hatchett's hairpin. Yes, you can see he's miffed.
Hey, see, like domestic Dave's keeping himself busy there, Rob.
Indeed, yes, he'll be out with the Domestos in a minute, but up front it is Mark Hughes, still from Seb Bulpin, and Seb is right in his wheel tracks and he's matching him lap time for lap time, so not a lot in it at the front. Errol Armit still there in 3rd, just perhaps quite as close to the leads as he likes, and well, the chasing pack in the mix there is not just young Nick Anderson and Greg James, 2, as we mentioned earlier, recent super teams, but also the real newcomer Ben Field. So there's a lot of prospective talent looking around down there in 4th, 5th, 6th places.
Yeah, there is. We just saw Nick Anderson, going through the final corner as well. There's all sorts of decent riders coming through, which will all obviously progress as the season goes on. But it's all about this man at the moment, Mark Hughes. Seb Bulpin is doing a terrific job to keep with him. Seb, of course, far more of a smoother rider around the circuit, whereas Mark does prefer it a little bit, well, hairy, should we say.
Yeah, Seb Bulpin, I saw, had a very unfortunate crash a few seasons back at Cadwell Park, and it's absolutely brilliant to see him not just back up and riding, but back and riding at the front. He's another tremendous prospect, and he's fulfilling that this weekend. Errol Armit, though, bit of a twitch, and he's back in the pack, and look who's got past him. It's Ben Field up into 3rd as we see the leader there. Well, and he's out, and he's not that far ahead of Seb Bulpin, but a fantastic ride, Steve, from Ben Field?
Yeah, Ben from Birmingham. We don't know too much about him, but I'm sure we'll hear from him a lot more. Snetterton's up next. We'll see how he gets on, but a brilliant ride. And if he can keep this on the podium, there he is, number 14, with the orange vest, of course, notifying that he's a rookie, then it'll be a fantastic result.
Yep, he's got past, as I say, Errol Armitt. Nick Anderson is not that far down the road either. As we see the leading two run through once more, and Mark Hughes just sticking in a fastest lap of the race so far, so just stretching maybe by a bike's length or so ahead of Seb Bulfin.
Weather staying very kind with us here this weekend. Pembrey, of course, 20th anniversary this weekend for Phil Davis and his team, and they've put on a real good show here.
Yes, and it's made fantastic progress as a circuit, I have to say, over, well, certainly, in fact, in the last 5 years, and the place is almost unrecognisable. A lot of work by the circuit staff and a lot of investment, I think, probably by the BARC, certainly led by them, has produced pit garages, a new pit lane, all sorts of facilities that weren't here until relatively recently. And the ground staff here, I think, make an excellent job too of looking after the runoff areas, all of them here being grass. Some circuits you see acres and acres of gravel track. Well, here we've got the old country sward, and there's a photographer who, frankly, I don't think ought to be standing there.
In the firing line as well.
Yeah, well, up the front it is Mark Hughes still in the closing stages that leads this one. There we see the last lap flag. A couple of slower competitors on the road ahead could come into play, and well, look at that, twitching left, twitching right, sliding it about. The leader Mark Hughes with Seb Bulfin still right there to pick up the pieces should Mark make the slightest mistake.
I think he's given up hope of actually making a challenge for it, but certainly there if anything should happen to Mark. But he's made a good effort of it anyway, and Nick Anderson there, a fantastic weekend for him.
Yep, chasing hard after Errol Armitt. Errol, I'm sure, will be a bit miffed that he's currently only running fourth in this, having been up into third and having been overtaken by a real newcomer. But actually, it's a stupendous advance on his 10th place that he did in qualifying. But there's the checker flag, and through the slower riders comes Mark Hughes, picks the win, and that is not just an excellent result for Mark, but an excellent ride as well, and a really, really good chase from Seb Bulfin. I think this could well be Seb's season one way or another. He's looking right on it, and there he congratulates Mark Hughes.